So since our last video, our world has changed a whole lot. We are now in total and complete lockdown. So I decided to go to Harrison's, grab my stuff, clean out my garage, and set up shop. And the cool thing about it is I'll just be able to get into the garage and work on stuff whenever I want to. We'll be doing a lot of building out of here for a while. So right now I'm headed over to Lucky's shop out in Burbank. As you can see, I got my frame back there. I'm dropping it off so he could get the body on there and do the channel and build the floors. We're in a weird time right now. It's right in the height of COVID. Lucky's been quarantined and been going to the shop, and he's tired of kicking all the damn parts around. He offered to help me out and get the body kind of all pieced together. We were planning on just building it all there, the body all there, and I was gonna film it and do all that good stuff, but unfortunately we got locked down, and he took the time to do it. So he's been kind of capturing some stuff. Anyway, so we're on our way, and we're getting closer. Chassis.
I'm finding a lot of irony in the fact that I gave Piero a little Model T so I wouldn't have to build it. And then all of a sudden I find myself building this little T. Yesterday I spent a few hours and widened the cowl. Today I sliced and diced the quarters and made everything work like a Roadster out of this touring parts. Instant Roadster body. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to build the structure that supports the body.
Right.
Supports your B pillar on the door side.
Right.
And just makes it all solid. I'm going to put a floor in it, sheet metal floor.
Yeah.
But basically what I want to do is I want to get it solid, bolted to the chassis.
That'd be awesome.
And I'm going to make the dash too.
Oh, what? Really?
And right now, the reason I was just, because
Yeah, definitely needs a little...
I gotta get this square first and then just start moving around and back. I'm gonna do mostly square tube, and I got this 1 by 1/2 inch to lay flat for your floor.
Floor, yeah, cool.
And I'm just gonna structure the crap out of the floor.
Yeah.
And make it super solid. I'll probably just gonna roll the back under the seat. I'm just gonna roll it with the frame.
Oh yeah, so it kind of seals it.
So it'll roll up, and then you'll be able to put a riser and maybe even have a little storage underneath.
Right.
The seat
Right.
cushion. This hinge is not supposed to be exposed on this side.
I see it.
So this is gonna come recess back in here, and that'll close this gap and open this one back up. A3 on Piero's Tweedy Pie. We're gonna get the body stood up on the firewall. Gotta hammer over all the flanges to get it to sit over the 32 chassis. As we can see right here, we're gonna hammer over all of these flanges to get it to sit right. Well, we did it. We got Tweedy Pie on the chassis. Body's looking good. It sits pretty good. Got to do some subfloors, some structure, build a dash, some floors, little firewall trim, and get this thing back to Piero's garage so he can continue building it. This is where I'm at now. I got the car sitting 3 inches over the rails. I had a lot of bracing to square this thing up. A lot of truing it up because there's no straight lines and nothing to measure from. So a lot of measurements, a lot of figuring out. Now it's pretty much squared and true to the chassis. So I can get in here and I can finish the flooring, sub rails, and then I can get in here and start running some uprights and some B-pillar supports to get this thing holding firm.
So the other day I was snooping around Facebook Marketplace and I came across a guy that was selling a bunch of old Ford parts, and he ended up having a beanie cap and a couple Merc caps. But the more I looked around on his page, I found this cool old gas tank that was the same diameter as the one on Tweedy Pie. It's smooth like the one on Tweedy Pie, but it has some weird ends on it that are a little bit different. But I think I can modify it to make it look like it, or at least use it as a temporary. So now I'm going to shoot over to Lucky's and drop off these parts. He wanted me to bring over the X-member, some pedals, and the fake engine block and transmission so he can get the floors dialed in with everything underneath it.
Okay, we're nearing, I don't know what day, but I got some motor mounts made and tacked in the front, the firewall cut so the motor fits, and I got the toe kick and the trans located for the floor. Now I can wrap up the rest of the floor and start doing all these upright supports to structure this whole body. But yeah, we need a rear trans cross member. I don't know if I'm gonna try to make these X pieces work. That pedal situation has to fit right where it's gotta fit. We have here 1939-1940 brakes from Bob Drake. I highly recommend them for any builders doing old traditional stuff because they are, in fact, exact copies of those pedals. So your arms and everything are identical to Ford. But the best part is you have a 2-bolt conversion already done. You don't have to get an adapter plate to run a 2-cylinder master cylinder, which I highly recommend everybody do. It gets your clutch linkage in the right place. But these will work perfectly in Piero's Tweedy Pie. Now we're working on the pedal placement and this little X member we got to do to get the pedals located and mounted, and a rear trans cross member to support the back of the transmission. We're also going to build some tank brackets. We found a tank that's close. We're going to modify it, or maybe we'll get someone with the initials BW to do a little tank work. But we're going to get the brackets on so Piero can not have to worry about any of that heavier fabrication stuff. It could just be more like a model kit you can put together and sand down and paint. It'll be good though. It'll be good to get all this big stuff knocked out of the way, and then you can finesse it at your own pace.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. Piero Pie.
Piero Pie.
Piero Pie. Okay, this is my first choice to use these X members. Where it gets over to the center and the support, that's a whole different story. But it's only 3 feet long, so I'm gonna have to dive these back. This angle is gonna have to stay the same because the pedals have to mount straight. But yeah, I can turn this right here before the firewall, but it is gonna stick down kind of boxy, but it does get all that stuff around it that busies it up, so you're not gonna notice as much, but it will be there.
But it's gonna be black too, so you won't be like...
Yeah, whatever it does, I'll have to mimic the other side.
Right.
So you'll have the same look visually both sides.
Right.
Like this back one, I'll cut this and bend this in so it dives back before the swoop.
Right.
Like it has to. But yeah, I can make these work. Get up in. Okay. So basically, this is where we're at. Pedals coming up right here. So see that X member?
Yeah.
The way that mounts, that angle?
Yeah.
It's pretty good with the front, not sticking out. But I'm gonna have to cut it right there because it's already close to the cross member.
Right.
But it'll work perfectly. And this brake pedal works perfect right there.
Okay, so you just have to slide the other one over.
Yeah, we'll have to bend the clutch arm in.
Yeah.
Look at your linkage.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's already lined up right there. Money well spent.
Money well spent.
So today I was hacking up these X members and getting them to work in this chassis. Once I got one done, I have to match the other. So it looks pretty good. Pedals will bolt right up there. Clutch arm works right where it's supposed to. I'll have to build some tranny mounts off of those and maybe some plates to connect these together and tie it all in. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm getting ready to tack these things in here, call it a day.
When Bob was building the car, he decided to make these two towers that would coddle the gas tank and is welded to the top portion of the rear frame rails. The tank was held down by an asymmetrical strap on the right side and a hidden clamp behind the left side of the tank. The one-sided strap had to be done this way because there was no way to put another strap on the other side because the filler was totally in the way. So Lucky the other day at the shop replicated the two towers, and I think they came out perfect. They're just tacked together and I'll finish welding them later. But they fit the tank perfectly and it totally gives it the right look. So now we're going to turn our attention to the windshield frame. So a stock 1923 to 25 Roadster windshield looks like this. As you can see, the top of the stanchions are even with the top of the windshield frame, and the two windshields are separated directly in the middle, the top being even with the bottom glass. So the first modification that had to be done was widen it 3 inches to match the cowl. Then they took out an inch off the top frame to lower it below the windshield stanchions. And they also ended up using an earlier lower half windshield that was a lot taller, cutting off a couple inches off the bottom of that top frame in order to make it all fit. So in the end, the windshield has been chopped 1 inch and widened 3 inches.
We are chopping this windshield up because Tweedy Pie was widened in the cowl area. All the windshields got to get widened too. Close but no cigar. No cigar. This looks like a job for gloves. Oh.
Like gloves.
I don't know why when something fits good I turn into a French dude.
Alright, so we got the top windshield chopped an inch, Lucky's got it tack welded up, and now we're working on adding the 3 inches to the top of the frame. So you can see how much longer the top windshield frame is to the bottom. So we'll be cutting off a few inches there as well.
This was cut off center for very strategic reasons. It's not just a mistake. There's a lot of science behind it.
Yeah.
We don't have time to explain.
Yeah. It'll be in the next episode.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. Oh, look, no wind in my face. No wind in my face over here. It's like I'm in a building.
Your legroom is good, huh?
Dude, it's awesome. That's what I was saying, like, this car is so comfortable.
It's interesting from the side profile because, like, I see your knees, but your knees are going to be on pedals and gas. So pretend they're on pedals and gas.
I still would think, yeah, they'd be like right here. Yeah, right.
Let me see.
Not right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's all down right.
Get those.
I still think I'm down a lot more, too.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be down a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty comfortable in there right now, but if you were down another 2 or 3 inches.
I feel like I would be.
How long have you wanted to sit in this thing like this?
Several years. I guess that's one of being able to sit in the real one for a long time. Look at that smile. That guy's a happy camper right there. Look at it.
How old is that? You look totally different.
This is only like a year and a half ago. This is pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID weight.
Alright, we got the windshield done. It's been chopped, it's been widened, and now it looks so much like Tweedy Pie. I love it. It's looking great. Can't wait to get this thing home and start working on it. So that's where we're at for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.